Ladies and gentlemen, this album is dedicated to the man who made it all possible. La locura.
What's up, you guys? This is our new episode of True Crime Tuesday. Jack couldn't make it today. He's not really feeling the best right now, so I instead invited...
Hi, I'm Melinda.
Yeah. So if you guys have been following me since quite a while ago, you guys know who Melinda is. I brought her on my stream once in a while.
I'm back.
She's really into this, so this is really exciting. So today we're actually going to start off right off the bat, simply due to the fact that this thing is 9 minutes. No, sorry, not 9 minutes. 9 pages long, man. Today we're going to be talking about the Ken and Barbie Killers. You guys have probably heard of them. It's disgusting. I did the research. Melinda here has no idea what is going to happen.
Reacting.
Exactly. She has no idea what's bound to happen right now. But, so let's get started here, man. Start right here. All right, so we're going to, oh, and by the way, sorry, before I begin, I want to quickly make sure that you guys know that I'm reading this off of my notes. So you guys are like, why is she looking down all the time? I'm reading my notes. So, here we go. So, here's an introduction to both characters. Paul Bernardo. He was born on August 27, 1964 in Scarborough. I hope I'm saying that right. Ontario, Canada. He was described to be about 6'1" in height. He had blonde hair, blue eyes, very handsome man, as people describe. He was an athletic man who was a university-educated chartered accountant. If I'm correct, I believe he was 28 years old when he met Carla. Carla Homolka was also described to be someone very beautiful. She had blonde hair and bright blue eyes. She was a veterinarian assistant with the ambition to become a police officer, but that turned a huge left turn. Paul Bernardo and Carla Homolka have become known as the Ken and Barbie Killers. All right, here we go. So now we're going to do a deep dive on Carla Homolka.
Ooh.
Her born name is Carla Leanne Homolka. Okay. She was born...
Homolka.
Yeah. It's a struggle to say her last name. She was born on May 4th, 1970 in St. Catherine. Carla had 2 sisters, Logan and Tammy Homolka. She was the oldest. Her mother, Dorothy, was a hospital administrator. Her father, Carla, by the way. Carla Homolka was a dealer of lamp fixtures. Carla was known to be smart and dominant, but could not really come off as... She could come off as stuck up. So, there's a difference there.
One of those.
Yeah, growing up, she wanted to be a police officer or detective, but apparently she said her weakness was her aptitude. And to be honest, I feel her.
At least you can correlate.
Yeah. She read lots of books that contained horror, true crime, gore, etc. In high school, her and her friends had a group called the EDC. It stood for Exclusive Diamond Club. One girl from the high school says that Carla once showed her wrist with scratches on it, and she said that she tried committing suicide, but the girl who actually was struggling with suicidal thoughts said that she felt like Carla was faking it the whole time.
Ooh. Yeah,
another girl recalls Carla saying she wanted to put holes on somebody's body and spill vinegar onto them.
I'm trypophobic. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
And she wanted to play tic-tac-toe with the person's body.
Oh, she dirty.
Yeah. No, trust me,
dirty
it gets
minds.
worse.
Okay.
This is just the beginning, man.
All right.
1987 comes. She is now 17 years old. Her and her friends drive to Toronto to attend a convention. They had a booked hotel in Scarborough. On Friday night, her friends and her went drinking and came home with 2 men, but it didn't really work out, so they just stood upstairs. And then at some point, she was like, I'm hungry, I'm gonna go downstairs. She went downstairs to a restaurant, and that is where she came across a man named Paul Bernardo.
Oh, ooh,
look at that.
The magical guy.
Look at that. Paul Bernardo. Now let's go into a deep dive with him. He had 2 siblings, Debbie and David. His father, Kenneth, was an accountant. His mother, Marilyn, was a stay-at-home mother. Marilyn was actually abused by her husband, Kenneth. Marilyn had an affair on Kenneth and became pregnant with Paul Bernardo.
Ooh.
She suffered with aphasia because he didn't...
Aphasia?
Yeah, isn't that what it said?
What is that?
All right. So he didn't. So pretty much, it's like he didn't really receive much oxygen to the brain.
Oh, okay, okay, got you.
This caused him to, have trouble communicating growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And at the age of 5, he had a surgery with his tongue that kind of loosened it up so that he could, speak a bit better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
But it did cause him to like stutter in school, and due to his stuttering, a lot of classmates did bully him.
We've all been there. That was me as a kid too.
Yeah. When Paul was 6 years old, his brother David said that at some point Paul actually ran off for days and nobody in the family noticed. In fact, nobody asked for him. At age 15, while his mom and dad argued, it became known that Kenneth was not actually his father. His mother and him had a horrible relationship. They called each other names. She referred to him as a bastard from hell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder he's so messed up. Poor kid.
Yeah. Paul's father was, this is where we kind of get into, the hard-hitting stuff.
Alrighty.
Paul's father would actually sexually abuse his daughter Debbie from the age of 9. She actually became very scared of him, that she would actually close her blinds before she would change because she knew like he's gonna come and look at me.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
So much trauma for these kids.
Exactly. He was later caught by a neighbor who saw him parked in front of a house watching girls change. His father was found guilty of assaulting his daughter Debbie. At the age of 19, Paul entered the University of Toronto to study the same thing his father was studying, accounting. Him and his friend went to a hotel, drank, and while they sat there, he came across a girl named Carla.
Oh, Carla.
Look at that.
Yeah. It all starts with drinking, I swear.
Yeah. So Paul and Carla, they seemed to be, hitting it off right off the bat. They became a couple. They seemed normal. No one really saw anything weird from them.
Until
Paul would ask Carla's parents if he could sleep over in the living room whenever he would come to visit. Paul and Carla would sneak around, have sex while, her parents were upstairs sleeping.
Typical teenage stuff.
Yeah. But it came known into the relationship that Paul wasn't really getting satisfied by vaginal sex. So he wanted to take, steps a little bit further.
Oh, so this is going south. Like this is okay.
Yeah. So at one night, this is very important to remember. One night, Carla says that she actually found Paul, her boyfriend, Paul, sneaking outside, climbing a window, and looking inside of her sister's room, Tammy. And she stayed. She didn't think that was odd. She stayed. So hold on. She just sat back
knowing that her boyfriend was, peeking in her sister's window like a creepy guy, and she just, it's okay. It's normal. It's normal thing. Guy thing.
Yeah. It's a trip. It's a trip of a story. So now we're going to go into a little bit of what was going around in the city, what was happening in Scarborough. During 1987 through December 1992, women would get off the bus, or they would be waiting for the bus, and they would actually be attacked from the back, and unfortunately they'd be raped without being able to see the rapist.
Of course.
Yeah, some of the victims said that he would force them to call him names while he raped them, kind of like, oh, I'm your slut type of thing. He was really, really into that.
Oh, it's a serious matter, so I'm not going to joke, but I was going to say something, so yeah, okay, let's go. Let's continue.
Through May 1987 through December 1992, at least 18 women were raped. Toronto actually turned to the FBI for help. The FBI gave a description of who the rapist could be. They described him as a white male around his 20s, living around Scarborough. They described him to be as someone who was failing in his classes, probably has been arrested, and most likely single, etc.
So I have a question. If this rapist, this attacker, was attacking from the back, was he, doing since you said he wasn't very satisfied through the vaginal sex, was he going for anal sex?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. Spring of 1992, Bernardo raped his 15th victim. Oh. Luckily, though, she was actually able to get a glimpse of him. So
Good.
That was
yes.
Yeah, that was.
Identify this guy, please.
Yeah. They drew a description of the Scarborough rapist. A childhood friend of Paul Bernardo, named Alex Smirnitz. Once again, I'm hoping I'm saying that right. He saw the picture and he looked at his friend and he said, "You know what? That looks kind of like Paul Bernardo."
And that's his friend?
Yeah.
Good. Yes.
Friend, yeah.
Yes.
One of the authorities reported him and whatnot. So, Bernardo gave. So the police went to him, and Bernardo actually gave them hair, blood, and saliva samples. But unfortunately, once again, Bernardo was one of the 90 suspects, which slowed this process really, really down. And not only that, but stations didn't have the tools that we have today.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. It was way harder to identify people.
Yeah. So during this time, Bernardo told Carla, "Let's move. Like, let's go to St. Catharines."
Yeah, let's move because I am, the suspect. So let's leave town.
Exactly. So they actually ended up moving to St. Catharines, Canada. It wasn't until 2 years later, February 1st, 1993, that the results came back positive.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, super late, man. Super
late. 2 years later. Like, at that point, you know how many people he could have raped even more? Like,
exactly.
Come on now.
Exactly. At the same time, Paul and Carla's sex life was becoming more brutal as the time went. He told her to call him names in specific orders, just like his rape victims. The same idea.
So he would tell Carla to call him the names.
Yeah, no, to call herself names. Like, "I'm your dirty slut."
No, that's not what we do in here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paul.
What's it called? At some point in the relationship, Bernardo told Carla that considering, this is where we get to the part that I'm just very confused by, that considering that Carla wasn't a virgin anymore, he wanted to have anal sex with her. She refused the first few weeks, but after 2 months after he threatened to leave her, she said, "Fine, let's do it." He
has to threaten her in order for her to be like, okay. Like, how messed up is that?
Yeah.
I gotta threaten to leave your ass. Sorry.
Exactly.
In order for me to,
Yeah. But then she arrives to the house to have sex with them, and there's cameras set up. And it...
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, for some people may be into that. Some people may not.
Yeah, no, I'm not judging anyone who does that. But we already know the backstory to this guy, so we know what his motives are. Like,
exactly. So, like I said, this didn't scare Carla. In fact, she was actually intrigued by it. So, 1990, Paul and Carla had become engaged. They planned to get married a year later, during June 1991. During this time, Paul started growing a liking and obsession with Tammy Homolka.
The sister. Oh my goodness.
Yep. Remember that situation where I said that he was peeping through the window?
Yes.
Yeah, so that comes in again. Where,
oh my goodness.
It comes back in, but this time it's...
I'm really judging Carla right now. What is wrong with her?
Exactly.
At this point, you're just setting it up for yourself. What are you doing?
Yeah. And unfortunately, it does get worse.
Oh.
He would constantly peep into her window and suggest to Carla while they're having sex to wear her clothes.
I'm sorry. I'm going to stop you right there. What?
Yeah.
What? Repeat that again? What?
Yep. And then not only that, but he would tell her as she's wearing her clothes, he would actually have sex and be looking at a picture of Tammy.
Okay, but Carla would actually abide to this, of what he's saying. Wear your sister's clothes, and I'm going to have a picture of your sister behind you while we're doing it, so I can get, aroused.
Exactly. And you want to know what's worse here?
What?
The situation is already worse, but it trips you out. Tammy was actually 15 years old.
Oh my goodness! And how old is this guy at this point? He's already
28.
So she's a minor. This is not even she's a grown woman. Even then, it's wrong. But she's a kid. Oh my goodness! He's such a sexual predator. I can't.
Yeah. So, trust me, unfortunately, it gets worse, man.
All right.
So, he had given a suggestion to Carla saying, you know what, I'm not really, this isn't cutting it for me. How about you give me your sister Tammy's virginity?
Hold on. What? So now you're asking your girlfriend, the sister of the girl you're infatuated with, for her little sister's virginity.
Mm-hmm.
How messed up is that?
15 years old.
But I feel like Carla, being the freaking person she is, so naive and timid, she's probably like, okay, go for it. Go take my sister's virginity. As long as I still have you at the end of the day, I don't care what you do.
Look at that. Look at that.
There was no one stood up for themselves. Women did not stand up for themselves, and it really pisses me off.
Yeah, man. So, Carla claims that she denied at first, but in December 1990, Carla agreed to give Tammy's virginity to Paul Bernardo.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Mm-hmm. Her own sister.
No, okay, but apart just even being her own sister, her own little sister, she's a minor. She's not even...
Yeah, you know what cracks me up is that it's like she says it like, oh, it's my place to give it to you. Like, I'm just like,
no, okay, yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's the logical part.
Yeah.
You can just choose to give your little sister's virginity to your boyfriend. No, we all handle that our own self. You don't have control over my body. You don't know what I do with it. So you just go hand it over.
Yeah, like she's like.
So what if the little girl doesn't want to? What, you're just gonna forcefully push her to give up her virginity?
Yeah,
man,
it's a horrible.
It's very trippy.
Story,
it's like you said, it's trippy because it's like, why would he even ask for that in the first place? And why would Carla be like, oh yeah, it's cool.
Normal.
I mean, after 2 months, he already asked me, like, why not? Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Christmas Eve comes up. Paul and Carla drug Tammy with a spiked eggnog containing halcyon.
There it is.
I believe that's what it's called, halcyon, and began to record her.
There it is.
At this time, by the way, Carla's parents, they were upstairs. They were going to bed. They had no idea what was happening. Carla and Paul insisted Tammy to stay up and then watch a movie with them.
So wait, hold on, let me just cut you off. So Carla and Tammy's parents were in the house, and they accept Paul being in the house knowing he was a suspect for being a predator.
They were very they were like, it's not him, because he was an accountant. He spoke very well.
It's always the ones that look the less like,
exactly.
Looks are deceiving. Don't let it get twisted. So
yeah, her parents protected him a lot.
So they defended him.
Yeah, without knowing. Obviously.
Oh my God, the naive. I can't. Continue.
What's it called? Tammy quickly knocked out due to her already being spiked, and Carla approached her, poured holothane onto Tammy's face to make sure she was fully sedated.
Oh, I know it. Okay.
Paul and Carla bring out the camera and they record themselves.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I already know where it's going.
Yeah, I'm obviously not going to go into full detail on this part, but Paul Bernardo begins to rape Tammy Homolka, and during the end, Paul looks at Carla and tells her to rape her own sister Tammy. Her own freaking sister, man.
At this point, it's just, despite it being rape in the first place, and that's just, I hate that. Gross, disgusting, terrible. But why? I can understand him. He's already a predator at this point, But why is Carla so okay with him raping her little sister? Like, shouldn't you defend your baby sister over this man that you've known less time than you've known your sister? Like, exactly. That still trips me out. And then at that point, he already did his thing. Whatever. She's knocked out. She's drugged. He did his thing. Now he's asking Carla to go ahead and sexually assault her own sister. And let's see what she says.
Yeah. So Carla Homolka and Paul Bernardo then proceed to rape Tammy. The camera videotape cuts off, and Carla claims that this is when Paul had said that something was wrong with Tammy and told her she's not breathing. Tammy Homolka, age 15, had vomited and choked to death. Tammy and Paul hated the drugs. They laid Tammy on the bed upstairs and they called the ambulance. Tammy was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead at 2:03 a.m. And it pisses you off right here. Investigators noticed that there were like red marks around Tammy's mouth. Mm-hmm. And when they had asked like Carla and Paul, like, why does she have red marks? They said, oh, maybe she got like a rug burn when we pulled her to take her upstairs.
Don't tell me they believe that. Don't tell me they believe that.
What's it called? So then they said, why'd you move, the body? And they said, oh, it's because there was better lighting upstairs. And so the police were kind of like, you know what? In a moment of panic, people do stupid things. Yeah. During the super small, tiny-ass investigation, Carla's parents mentioned Paul was an amazing man who was soon to be the husband of their daughter. He was an accountant. He had high, standards to them or whatnot. Yeah. Tammy Homolka's death was later announced to be caused by aspiration of vomit, and the case was dropped.
Are you kidding me? Over vomiting? Mm-hmm. So they didn't even... So forensics didn't even do, like, tests on her to see if she was drugged, if her blood was thin, what... No, it was just vomiting. She died off of vomiting.
Exactly.
It's cool, Nothing could have caused her to vomit. She just vomited. She died. Mm-hmm. So logical. I love that.
Yeah. Later on that week, while Carla's parents left the house, mourn their daughter's mm-hmm. death, Paul and Carla entered Tammy's room, set up a camera.
Oh my goodness.
And had sex in her room.
Like, is that how you grieve her death? Is, let's have sex on her bed, Mm-hmm. Grieve that she's gone. We mm-hmm. did that to her. Now let's just enjoy our moment on her bed.
Yeah.
Is that like the happiest they ever were was when they were raping the sister?
Probably.
That's just fucking twisted. That's just twisted.
Yeah. No, it's okay if you
okay.
Yeah. Carla played her little sister Tammy. She dressed up as her. Mm-hmm. She acted out as if she was Tammy, while Paul had sex with her, calling her Tammy. 7 months after Tammy's death, Paul and Carla got married.
I'm not even going to say congratulations. I don't care. I honestly don't care.
Yeah.
But so Carla role-played as Tammy mm-hmm. while they had sex. Oh, this is nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the crime. I love the drama. But, oh my God, it's gross.
It's disgusting, yeah.
Carla
Homolka, one night, she invited over a 15-year-old girl over to their house named Jane Doe. Carla had known her since she was 12 years old. She invited her over to watch a movie. During the movie, Carla drugged her. Once she was unconscious, Carla called Paul and said, I have a birthday surprise for you.
Oh my goodness. What? Why 15-year-olds? Why not a 14? Why not a 16?
He was very intrigued by younger girls. Like every time he told Carla to have
You know why
sex,
though, right? But it's because he wanted their purity of the virginity.
Yeah.
Like, come on now. And he's not even interested. She mentioned in the beginning that he wasn't even intrigued with vaginal sex, so he mm-hmm. had to take the virginity through anal sex. Like
that's what he wanted. Yeah, so once again, they set up the camera, they raped her. The video is 15 minutes long.
Oh my goodness.
2 weeks before their wedding, 2 weeks before their wedding, Paul went lurking to see if he could find another, girl to rape. Around 2 a.m., he came across a 14-year-old girl sitting in the backyard named Leslie Mahaffey. Paul and her started a conversation. When she asked what he was doing, he said he was burglarizing homes, and she kind of laughed it off. She proceeded.
Hey, yeah, I'm stealing. Just gonna rob your house now. Yeah. Don't tell me. It's okay. Go ahead.
She proceeded to ask if he had a cigarette, and he said yes, but it's in my car. He took her into the car and kidnapped her.
That's rule 101. Don't go into a stranger's car, no matter what they say. Oh, hey, kid, I have candy. Hey, you like drugs? I have drugs in the car. Come with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to ask my mom first.
And Paul took her into his home and recorded her. He tortured her, commanded her to do everything or else he would kill her. Paul blindfolded her in fear that she would see him.
Is it bad that at that point I would just be like, dude, just do it. Just shoot me. Kill me however you want. Yeah. Like, don't even torture me. Just kill me. Like...
Yeah, I feel like I would have been like...
I just give up. I'd be like, I know it's not the best mentality, but I don't want to go through being tortured. Just kill me and end it. That's it. Exactly. I'm just saying.
Same. In the tapes, you could actually hear her telling Paul, like, hey, my blindfold is coming off. And she did it because she was just like, I don't want him to turn around, the blindfold be off. Mm-hmm. He's like, damn it, you saw my face, now I have to kill you. Mm-hmm. So she actually warned him, hey, my blindfold's coming off.
Oh, look at her. She's still trying to be nice to this guy who, you know, could kill her at any moment. Be like, oh, hey, just by the way.
You know what? I feel like I would have been like that, too. I would have either been like, oh, let me play along.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, I always thought about that, too. If I'm ever... worst case scenario, hopefully not, put into a situation like that, I would play along with the killer so that they think that, you know, oh, okay, she's following my rules, she's abiding, but really, I'm gonna end up doing the twist, and I'm like,
yeah, exactly. In the meanwhile, Carla was upstairs reading, walking her dog, drinking tea, normal stuff, as if, you know, nothing was going on.
Oh, like, she's not, like, a rapist. She's not a predator, guys.
She's doing her own thing.
She's a normal girl.
Yeah. At some point, Carla and Paul had a reunion to discuss what was going to happen to Leslie, considering that morning, Carla's parents were going to go over to visit their new home. Carla claims that she's the one that suggested that she would give Leslie sleeping pills so she can die peacefully. But then Paul went in and changed up the whole plan and got black cords and choked her to death.
He just had to choke her to death, you know. God forbid, following the, you know, the pills, you know, letting her peacefully. No, let me torture her and choke her.
Paul grabbed her body and took it into the basement and hid it in a corner.
He just had an infatuation with, first off, taking their purity, and then after getting what he wanted and having them follow his roles of dominance, if you want to call it that, he would just kill them. He just wanted to torture them, like make them do all these things, and then finally when they would do it and it was over with, he'd be like, all right, now let me torture you some more and kill you.
Yeah. On Monday morning while Carla worked, Paul grabbed Leslie's body, put it in the basement, put up like some tents, and he carved her body into 10 pieces and put them inside of cement and made them into blocks.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Eventually, Carla gets out of work. He picks her up. They drive out to Lake Gibson and they throw the cement blocks into the water. 2 weeks later, June 29th, 1991, Paul and Carla got married in Niagara Lake.
No one cares. Dude, get married in a volcano and I wouldn't care.
Yeah. During their wedding, while they were having fun, everything was normal.
No, nothing's normal.
A fisherman in the Lake Gibson came across a cement containing one of Leslie's body parts.
Oh my God. Imagine being that fisherman, just, you know, minding his own business, finding this, and it's like, oh, look at that, there's a liver in here.
Yeah, exactly. Carla later on explains that the night of their wedding is when Paul Bernardo admitted to Carla, I'm the Scarborough rapist.
Carla didn't know?
And so she says that was like very hard for her, and I was like, homie,
hold on, knowing
your sister.
Yeah, knowing all these things he asked you to do, you didn't know that he was the rapist. You were, oh my goodness, so come on now, and you don't know your own significant other enough to, when they're identifying them, like, oh, that's Paul, that is him, but I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. No. You did what?
Yeah,
you did that.
And people feel like the reason that it was hard for her was because he was raping people that, like, she wasn't aware of. Like cheating on her.
Oh, so if I know the people you're raping, it's okay. You know, that's fine because you told me and I'm your girlfriend. But when you go do it behind my back and I don't know who they are, that is just completely foul.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though they raped her own sister. Yeah.
It's stupid.
All right.
April 1992, Paul and Carla drove to a school, looked for a girl that, suited Paul's desires. They came across a girl named Kristen French. Carla called her over, asked her for directions. Paul went behind her and put her in the car. Over the next 3 days, Paul and Carla would torture and rape Kristen, once again recording all of this. And at some point, sorry, go ahead.
So I was just gonna say, I like how they record every one of their victims, knowing like someone can find these recordings and then expose them. Like, at least at that point, be smart and just do it without recording anything and just keep it between the two of you. No. I'm not telling people out there, hey, this is how you do it.
Yeah. So, where am I at? Oh, there we go. Paul actually made Kristen put on Tammy's clothes. So he just was still had this obsession over Tammy.
Yeah.
On the third day, Kristen refused to do what Paul demanded. Paul got angry and showed her videos of Leslie Mahaffey and said if she didn't do what he wanted, that she would end up like her. And in applause, I mean, it's tough for everyone that passed away, but Kristen looked at Paul, and in the video you could hear her say, "There are some things worth dying for." He got angry and beat her to near death. Carla claims he then brought out a black cord and choked her, taking away the life of Kristen French.
What's with all these black cords? I can just envision it being like a telephone cord, just.
Yeah. Paul and Carla carried Kristen to the bathtub upstairs and cleaned her and burned her belongings. Paul and Carla tossed Kristen's body on the side of the road next to Leslie's grave. So then we start going a little bit into the investigation here. Some witnesses said that they saw a Camaro take Kristen away soon after the car was plastered, all over town. People were looking for this car. Call if you had a tip. In May 1992, Alex Mierneth, the guy from the very beginning, his childhood friend, once again...
The one who identified him. Yeah, okay.
Went to the police and reported Paul once again and was notice how when he moved, the rapes over here in Scarborough disappeared and now all of a sudden...
You see, he was the logical one. He put two and two together. I like him.
Exactly. On May 12th, 2 detectives knocked on Paul's house and asked if they can, ask him some questions. He answered the questions. Once again, everything was normal. He didn't hesitate or whatnot. But they saw his car and realized that he drove a Nissan and not a Camaro. So later on, they ended up finding out that the person who put in the tip of the Camaro actually got the car wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They said he was nervous, but it was normal because most people, they interviewed were nervous. These were heavy charges.
Yeah.
Once investigators left, Paul and Carla got together and they started hiding all of their evidence, the videotapes and all of these things, right? During the next few months, Paul would continue to abuse Carla. He continued to stalk younger girls.
So he just continued to do the same thing he was doing.
Yeah. At some point, Paul grabbed a light baton and began to bash Carla in the head.
Oof.
On December 7th, 1992, Carla finally made the decision to leave Paul. Super late.
After the fact, keep in mind, they both... He first initiated raping her little sister. And I'm not going to leave him after that.
Carla went to the parents' house and Paul was charged with domestic abuse. Her parents actually, in fear that Paul would try to go and find her, they sent her to their aunt and uncle's place. And Paul would actually send videos to Carla of him saying I'm gonna kill myself, and you don't come back or whatnot.
I'd be like, do it, please. Yeah. Make my wish come true, homie. That's what I want most.
On February 1st, 1993, years later, the test finally came back positive that Paul Bernardo was confirmed to be the Scarborough rapist. Super late, man. Yeah. Investigators began to follow him now, he was now their main suspect. They went to Carla and asked her a few questions. She answered, and once they left, she went to her aunt and uncle and told them, Paul forced me to rape 2 girls on tape. They got her a lawyer. She then proceeded to tell the investigators that the tapes were in their home. And on February 17th, Paul Bernardo was charged with the Scarborough rapes. The police spent 71 days inside of their house looking for the tapes that Carla said Paul had hidden. Pretty much when she got into... so then, like, they went in, she was getting interviewed and whatnot, and she looked innocent. Her hair was well done. She had a nice dress. Yeah. Her tone was soft. She seemed really innocent, whatnot. They said she was systematically subjected to everything she was forced to do by Paul Bernardo. They described her as someone who suffered sleep deprivation. She was raped by her spouse over the years and was told if she left that he would kill her and her family. Carla took to the police into their home and described everything. You could watch the officer's cam on YouTube. And she seems like...
Can't you at that point just take the initiative to be like, okay, go ahead and try. I'm going to kill you first.
Mm-hmm. When you watch the tapes, by the way, like, you could tell that her main concern isn't even, like, the fact that they murdered people. Because at some point in there, she starts saying, like, oh, do you guys know where my perfumes are at?
Oh, yeah, no, she's trying to distract from the situation of what's happening because she knows she's going to get caught.
Yeah, so she's more, like, concerned about her perfumes and some of the furniture.
About herself. She's just self-centered. She's like, it's about me.
So, question for you. Was any of the furniture damaged as a result of the investigation?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay, good, so I'm asking for it.
And upstairs in the bathroom where they cleansed Kristen French's body of evidence, Homolka inquired after her perfume samples.
But I don't have any of that stuff.
So where are all those articles now?
Where Paul's lawyer took them.
You're saying Paul's lawyer took a number of articles from you?
Well, from what I understand, his lawyer took basically everything. This is where we carried Leslie down the stairs.
And in the basement where Leslie Mahaffey was dismembered, she had yet another inquiry on behalf of her other sister, Lori.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm afraid I can't answer.
Can I have that book? My sister wants it. Or does that have to stay here?
That has to stay for now, but we can make those arrangements.
Okay, thank you. And my Christmas.
April 29th, 1993, the investigator's warrant had actually expired. Paul called his lawyers, one of their names being Ken Murray. He guides Ken Murray to the 6 tapes located in the master bedroom upstairs. The 6 tapes containing Paul and Carla raping multiple young girls. And instead, Murray actually hides the tape from the prosecution for the next 17 months. And this eventually led to him resigning, and in August and turned in the tapes on September 2nd, 1994.
At this point, I'm just pissed off.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yep. And in January 1997, Murray was charged for obstruction of evidence and containing child pornography.
Yeah, he should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot.
Carla Homolka negotiated to serve up to 12 years, and if she had good behavior, she can get out in 4 with parole.
No.
In June, she testified against Paul. Paul admitted to raping the woman, but said that it was actually Carla who murdered the girls. In 1995, Paul Bernardo was sentenced to life in prison.
Yes.
And this is one that people are very, they don't know how they feel about it. Carla Homolka was released 12 years later on July 4th, 2005.
No. Why?
So Carla, she's still around. She actually recently, she went to like a children's school to donate some time. Like, I was like,
doesn't that apply to women too? If you're a sexual predator to kids, you're supposed to be, like I think what, like 60 feet.
Dude, there's some crazy ass women out there. The part that gets me in this is like,
one of us could have ran into this chick.
Yeah.
Just saying.
There's like the part where they like she asks for directions. The girl walks over and they kidnap her. And in my head, I'm like, dude, it sucks because we're just so used to, women being, fine and we could approach them. But in reality, there's so many women out there that you're just like, dude, you can't trust nobody.
Nah, I don't trust people that I don't already know. I'll meet you. I'll say hi. Hey, what's up? That's it. I ain't talking to you no more because I don't trust people. I got trust issues, bro. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
how we feel about the Ken and Barbie?
Sorry. It's disgusting. It's weird.
You honestly lost me with Carla when you said she wanted to put holes in people's bodies.
Yeah.
Like, that was so uncalled for. You don't need to do that.
That should have been reported the moment it was said.
Dude, as soon as someone tells me that, I'm like,
all right,
cool. Hey,
damn,
officer.
Like, yeah. No, yeah. It's a crazy story. It's very well known. It freaking disgusts the crap out of me. Did it disgust you? Like,
no, it disgusted me. It just made it. Okay, I'd say it just made me feel grimy, like just hearing it. It was just like, oh man, there's people like this in the world, man. Like, people have some wild, twisted thoughts. Mm-hmm. But I love reading about this stuff, so that was dope.
Yeah, but dude, Melinda, once again, thank you so much for coming onto this podcast.
You're welcome.
Once again,
thank you for having me.
Yeah. Once again, Jack couldn't make it, but we are going to be having him back next week. Supposedly, we're doing what's that alligator dude? Everybody.
Oh, is it
Joe Exotic?
Oh, Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
Who I was thinking of, but yes, him.
Next week, Jack is actually going to be doing the podcast. I'm finally going to be sitting there reacting to what he's saying because I don't know anything about Joe Exotic, so he's going to be educating me on that. Once again, Melinda, thank you so much for coming. If you guys want to check her out her Instagram. I'll be having her Instagram down in the link in the bio.
Yes.
And then on Thursday this week. Yeah, and on Thursday this week, she's actually be coming on my stream, Twitch. It's _time if you guys want to check it out.
Yes.
Have an awesome night. We'll see you guys on the next
episode.
Thank
you. Peace.